Hello. We are going to discuss something really cool. Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book
AKA
Day.
the greatest holiday of the year below Christmas. So, we picked up a lot of comics. So, quick little rundown. We went to our hometown. Took a little visit because we do not have a local comic book shop, unfortunately, in our local residence. That's going to change soon because we're both moving soon. But we took a quick visit in our hometown over the weekend, and luckily that Saturday was Free Comic Book Day. So my sister and I made the great effort of exploring multiple local comic book shops in that area, and we got a plethora of pickups, and I was lucky enough to pick up some comics for my brother because guess what? The owners, it was a husband and wife who owned the second shop, said, "Oh, we know you got someone to pick up comics for. We can just tell, you know."
You can shout out the comics.
Yeah, it was called Variant Comic Book Shop. It was in probably Orange Park, Florida, I think. I don't remember the exact location, but great comic book shop. Very, very, very nice people. And what happened was my sister wanted some comics to give her friend for her graduation because it was her graduation party the same day, so just like a little gift there. And among other gifts, she didn't use that as her main gift. And then my brother, I was like, this is a great opportunity to get comics for my brother. So we did that. So luckily, my brother and I spent that rest of that weekend and the week after reading up on all our free comics, and we wanted to discuss our favorite ones and just our favorite moments from those. So
Free Comic Book Day has always been special for us. We've been collecting comics for a while now, but there's been a hiatus, unfortunately, due to the circumstances of where we live right now.
Yeah.
And so visiting family and getting free comics and getting back into the swing of things, learning what the status quo is and all that has been really fun. So shout out to really kind people that run local comic book stores, and shout out to really kind brothers.
Yes. I mean, look, I had to. This is stuff that goes back into our childhood, so it had to happen. All right.
So, let's get into it.
Yeah.
What's our first pick?
Our first pick is actually going to be shared between us two because I wanted to get all the comics that we both picked up, or that I picked up for the both of us, out of the way so we could kind of share our thoughts successively. So, our first comic book is The Amazing Spider-Man. Here you go. We both got the same copy right here. And featured in it is a Queen in Black story, which I did not read, in all honesty. I only read the Spider-Man part of this comic. And
I read them.
Yes. Micah usually reads all of the stories in each comic that he buys or gets for free.
But especially because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, actually, before we get into this, I would say that the lineup this year for 2026 for Free Comic Book Day / Comic Giveaway Day.
Yeah, it's why is it called Comics Giveaway Day now?
There's a whole thing.
Interesting.
It's because like Diamond is basically going bankrupt, and now it's like some properties are managed by Marvel and some are not.
Whoa.
So they're like, Comics Giveaway Day. So this one falls under that, which is kind of funny. But so I would say that the lineup, though, across the board, has been really good this year. There's some years that are fun. It's always fun. But, sometimes it's like you have really good years and really okay years. And this, I think, was a really good year. So maybe that's just bias because I haven't really participated in Free Comic Book Days in a few years. But this comic was actually a pretty solid Free Comic Book Day issue when it comes to a Marvel title. Now, I do think that, in general, the indie titles this year were better than DC and Marvel. Especially DC, because I don't know what DC was thinking this year. But, this was actually a very solid issue. It was bittersweet because I was really glad Matthew picked it up, and he did the right thing by picking it up for me because I really I have to have it. It's Spider-Man. But it's also this thing where I'm like, honestly, I think people should maybe stop supporting the regular Amazing Spider-Man title right now. Yes. I know it's controversial, but Amazing Spider-Man 1000 is coming up soon, so it's like I'm not going to blame people for purchasing that. I'll probably purchase it.
Yeah.
But overall, I've been sort of like, I made a whole video about this that you could watch on my YouTube channel. I'll link it. But I don't know. I think that the state of the Amazing Spider-Man title that we've had since the dawn of the character is in very bad shape right now. And I don't even really fully blame people like Zeb Wells and Joe Kelly. Honestly, like, yes, Zeb Wells' run has some really bad stuff in it, but to be fair, there are only certain things you can do when you're a comic book writer when editorial is so impossible to deal with. And unfortunately, it affects people that we all love, like Peter Parker. So, but the opening story in this was really fun. It was sort of this thing where I was like annoyed with it and satisfied with it because I respect Joe Kelly wrote it. I respect Joe Kelly for writing a one-shot story that does feel very Spider-Man-y. And it is, I could tell that he was writing more from an authentic lens of just talking about how people are feeling in general right now. Like, there are a lot of things in the world that don't make sense. The world is getting suckier by the day, it seems. But, there are good things as well. And I think this story actually does a good job in reflecting that emotional uncertainty that people have right now. And it reminds, people why it's nice to have Spider-Man exist.
Yeah. Exactly.
However, I just thought the dialogue was pretty atrocious at some times.
It was.
But it was cool. I mean, like, I'm always like split when it comes to John Romita Jr. Sometimes his arc can look really awesome, and sometimes it can look really weird. And I think this was a good example of it looking weird and awesome at the same time. What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, I think so. For me, I've just going off of John Romita Jr. I like his art a lot. I really like his work with Superman, back in the New 52 days. But some of the Spider-Man art that he does is great because again he's the son, right? The son of Romita, right? What's the first name of his father? John Romita Jr.'s father?
Bro, John Romita Jr.
This is it for reference. It's 1 a.m. right now, and I have not gotten sleep. So that's all of my friends. I have a friend who's like the fifth in succession. Okay, we don't call him Junior. We call him his normal name, and then sometimes the fifth.
That's really funny.
Anyways, low IQ nonsense aside.
No, it is 1 a.m. And people don't really talk about him as much as they do John Romita Jr.
Yes. Yeah. John Romita Sr. Has passed on his successive genes to John Romita Jr. in the Spider-Man context. In the Spider-Man context. And I really like that. I really like how his son is kind of taking on that mantle. And that's kind of why I always have this grace whenever I read him of like, I'm always trying to be open-minded to his art because he has such legacy with him. So
I like it in like quantities that are digestible. Like I don't really want him consistently.
Yeah, and I feel like John Romita Jr. sometimes really sells a lot of really good kind of like brute force art style.
Yeah, very textured.
Yeah, textured, poppy, blocky kind of art styles going on. But I think sometimes when he gets into like the unmasked, no suit kind of human drawings, it's a little bit rough for me. But anyways, with that aside, I think the writing itself from Joe Kelly is pretty good at times, but also pretty insufferable.
Yeah, I don't really like how like specific words he uses that is like Gen Z slang for Peter.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, we talk like this in real life, but I don't really want Peter to be talking that way. And also, I didn't really appreciate the sort of condescending tone that he had for like conspiracy theorists, because it's like, okay, if this story is about being uncertain about the world, then you have really no higher ground to be on when like the real life news is crazy with all the files and whatnot, which used to be a conspiracy, by the way.
Yeah.
But overall, it was cool. I like this sort of attitude of writing a Spider-Man story.
What was I'm trying to find the Gen Z term he used.
He just said crash out.
Yeah. Peter said crash out, and I was like, that took me so out of it immediately. And then also, kind of just again the reference of AI explicitly in this. Sure. I welcome it. I want some commentary on AI for sure. I think it's extremely important to discuss.
Wait, where is that? Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little too much for, number one, a Spider-Man story from the get-go with just a few pages in, and number two, a free comic book day issue. Yeah. I want some action in a free comic book day issue. I want some entertainment. And while it was actually really fascinating, who's this villain? What's his name again?
The Answer.
The Answer. I thought The Answer was a really cool villain in the moment. But I just feel like not enough action happened, and it was all commentary, and it's like, that's cool, that's refreshing, but maybe not for Free Comic Day.
I don't know, I kind of disagree. I like that it was, I don't know. I get what you're saying, like, we do need more action.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, like, how the rest of the way this is structured. I actually like that this is a more... Again, I like that it's about what it is about.
But even then, Free Comic Book Day let's just be real, it's a marketing tool, and I want to be sold on Spider-Man. I don't get sold by a random commentary on how the world sucks. Okay. You know, I want to be sold by good action, good entertainment, and some heartfelt stuff, but not like super... I don't want to feel like I'm thinking about the real world the moment I step into Free Comic Book Day. That's kind of the reason why I go to Free Comic Book Day, is like, this is a holiday to me. I want to escape everything and just... collect comics.
I totally think that's valid, but for me, I'm sort of glad that I was given this story for free and I don't have to buy the Amazing Spider-Man series right now. I'm so glad that I got action is in it.
I'm so glad that I got this bad story for free, so I don't have to pay for it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm glad that I actually got to read a sort of tasteful, even though I have problems with it, story from Spider-Man for free again. And so I don't have to use money to buy just action slop, which is what Amazing Spider-Man is now, because Marvel doesn't care about character progression that is meaningful for any of the main cast of Spider-Man.
Fair.
And so you can see that in the end of this story, actually, when they tease ASM 1000. And it's like, guys, what are we doing? Like... Yes, we should be really hyped that ASM 1000 is coming out. Yeah. Remember when Action Comics 1000 hit and we got that and it was
Detective
hyped?
Comics 1000 and everything.
It's like, this is what happens when you have arbitrary editorial guardrails keeping characters in a state of stagnation and not progression, because we're literally about to reach an insane milestone for a comic book. And a comic book as special as Amazing Spider-Man, let's be real. And what is the story going to be about? We're about to reach an insane milestone for one of the most beloved characters in all of comics. And they have written themselves into this corner where really nothing hype can happen. I mean, like, who cares? Like, anyone can be anything. You know, Peter can be doing all this, whatever. Oh, here's the cousin. It's just like... Give us something that actually matters, bro. What if ASM 1000 was the retconning of One More Day? That would be an insane moment in history. Yeah. These people are crazy for not doing that. You know? Like, I understand the merits of keeping them separated, I guess. But it's just like... Why couldn't something actually important happen for ASM 1000? It just doesn't feel like anything of real importance will happen. That's what I'm trying to say.
And you just got to give me a reason to keep putting them in my pool, you know?
Yep.
Putting these issues in my pool. I need reason to give my money to this every month.
For real, bro. So. This is an expensive hobby, you know? So...
Got to pick and choose your books.
Overall, I liked the free comic issue. You know, the second story was really good. Or not really good. The second story was really cool. The potential was there. But again, it's like, if you're not going to get the characters right at the core, like I'm talking about, you know, all this stuff that happens on top will just be fluff, you know? I think the Queen in Black pitch is really cool. It's just like, I don't want it to be on top of nonsense. Yeah. You know? Like, have an event after you get your ducks in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Third story was awesome. I have no idea what they were thinking with that pitch.
It's crazy.
The coloring was awesome.
Yeah.
The texturing of the art was so cool. I'm probably gonna read that, honestly. It's weird that the highlight of the Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day issue was about Hulk.
Cosmic Hulk craziness.
But yeah, overall really solid issue. And shout out to Joe Kelly for actually trying to write like a semi-relevant story that isn't just, action slop like we said.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next comic. You get yours and I'll get mine.
Cool. Let's go with you first.
All right, so I picked up, or Matthew picked this up for me, but we got the Avatar book, and this is really cool. When I looked at the cover, I was just like, okay, these are just like characters that we don't know. Bro, we do. That's Roku.
It is Roku.
I'm just not used to seeing him as like a young Chad.
Yeah, for real.
And so the whole first story in this comic is him training with his earthbending master, which is so cool. I've read some of the Avatar comics. I have volume 1 of The Search, but like I don't know if this is new, and I want to figure this out because I would love to read Roku content. And I'm pretty sure this is a unique thing to this issue. I don't think they've come out with any volumes of Roku stuff.
Doesn't seem like that. It's the first time I've seen anything
Issue
like that.
1 of the Kyoshi Warriors just came out, and I wasn't able to pick it up.
That looks sick.
I couldn't pick it up, but I'll eventually probably read that too because I like Suki. But I think that this story was just too short for what it was, and I get it. It's Free Comic Book Day. You just kind of have to like write a quick story.
Yeah.
Get people in the door. But man, I really hope that they develop this. And that's cool. Right here, they're advertising the Kyoshi Warriors thing that I was just talking about. And then the second story, I'll be honest, I did not care about, but I still read it. It's a Minecraft story. And look, the comics giveaway thing is green, meaning it's like, all ages. This is clearly a kid's book. And clearly I'm not like the target audience. So I'm not going to judge it, I think, kids love Minecraft. And actually the Minecraft movie was really good, in my opinion.
Yeah, Minecraft's pretty epic. I will say that. I've been having fun with it lately. So
as for this story, though, it was just whatever. But it's cool that like stuff like this exists. I think it makes sense.
I just find it so funny that it's back to back with an Avatar story. I was literally in the car because my sister also picked this up for herself. I was in the car in the parking lot after we were coming out of the comic book shop. My sister opens the Avatar book, and I like glance after like 2 minutes of her reading it, and I'm like, why is Minecraft in that? I thought you were reading Avatar. And she was like, I am reading Avatar. Minecraft is right after it. And I was like, that makes sense. Okay.
The thing is, this was a comic that I picked up, I guess, during my last Free Comic Book Day. I don't know which year this was. But it had a Korra story. And I actually just read this to catch up with some of the comics that I haven't read. It was so heartwarming. It was like how Korra met her like dog, polar bear dog, I guess, Naga. And then the other story was a How to Train Your Dragon story, which is cool.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, and then like the last story was this Plants vs. Zombies story.
Which is hilarious.
Yes, but that's my point. It's like this clearly is like a little bit better crafted than like this one. But I'm still glad to have this. Again, I want Roku. So what's your what's your next one?
So this is actually my most recently read free comic in the batch that I got because there were a lot that I got and I read them over like a week span. So this is Street Fighter Forever. I really love Street Fighter. I can't say I'm the biggest fan simply in the context of actually knowing a bunch of the lore, which I want to change because Street Fighter lore is actually really cool from what I'm aware of.
Bro mains Ken.
I main Ken and Ryu in Smash, and I've played a good amount of Third Strike and some of Street Fighter 6. And Street Fighter is one of the best things to ever happen to video games. I mean, it's just incredible. This is such a quick tangent, but Third Strike soundtrack, if you know, you know. One of the best video game soundtracks of all time. And Third Strike's art style, everything about Third Strike is just one of my favorite moments in video game history. And Street Fighter 6 is also actually a great game. I think Street Fighter is winning right now. Street Fighter 5 had some rough patches going on, but 6 is really a great game and people are loving it. And there's also some really sick DLC in there. So
that cover is cool.
Yeah, this cover, the art for all kind of the Street Fighter free comic book days that have happened over the years, because they've been releasing one for pretty much each year for a while. They had some great art on it. I don't know if it's the same artist throughout all. I'm not really like paying attention enough to notice that. But the art in this is very good. So this was basically a really cool story where Ryu starts meditating and goes into
Dang, that art looks good.
He goes into an out of body experience, and he kind of reminisces over a lot of the teaching that he had from his past master, and in that comes a moment with Ken, and it comes a moment with students that he himself is training.
Can I show?
Yeah. These are the moments with his master and with Ken. And I love this moment where Ken, this is the lore that I do know, Ken is a family man. He is a husband and a father.
I didn't know that.
And that's something you should know about Ken. He it's defining for his character. And
I like that art.
He fights for his family. Yeah, this art style is super cool, super polished and very textured. But yeah, some cool discussions with his master. A crazy moment with Akuma shows up. Akuma, as always, is a BA. And yeah, just really cool moments between Ryu and his students that actually fight him or train with him in very interesting methods and ways, which I'm pretty sure these are new characters in Street Fighter 6 if I'm not wrong, because I don't recognize them from past games. So yeah, really cool art. And I don't know, it's just, I like how it focused on Ryu as a character and what he's reminiscing over, because Ryu is the GOAT. Ken's kind of the GOAT, I'm not gonna lie, but Ryu's the GOAT. So there was one more story after this. This was actually a really entertaining story. It's between, I forgot their names. Jury is one of them. And the other name starts with a V. I'm not well-rounded on Street Fighter characters. New Street Fighter characters, I'm not well-rounded.
Some of these might be created for the comics, though.
Yeah, but I do recognize, I don't know about Viper. Viper's the other one. But Jury, I remember, is in Street Fighter 6. So Viper and Jury, it's a story with them. And there's basically this really funny kind of like either like arms dealing or gambling kind of scheme that's going on between like people and I think it's like Asia and Russia. Just kind of like gangs. Or wait, it says Russian and Italian gangs. Yes, Italian gang and a Russian gang. And
is it a basketball?
No, it's not a basketball.
Right there.
It's well, I guess it is a basketball. In the other parts of the panels, it looked like just a normal ball you see there. But yeah, they actually use, like, that student uses a ball as a part of their combat, which is really sick. But anyways, so what's really cool is that kind of in the midst of this like gambling kind of gang meetup and like it's different gangs, right? So the tension's high. Jury comes in and like crashes the party and tries to like just basically like kidnap one of the guys and like get his bank information. So the Italian ends up thinking that the Russian betrayed him because the Russian hired Jury, which he hired Jury. He thought he hired Jury, except Jury was outsmarting him because in comes Viper, and they basically act like they are both like hired to steal banking information and kidnap these people on behalf of each gang leader, except for the fact that they outplayed both gang leaders by acting like they are fighting, but instead they snag the banking information, their phones, of both leaders and basically steal like all their wealth. So I thought that was like a really clever and funny story. Because they're just like rascals of characters, and really cool advertisement happened on the end with this, which was Street Fighter Masters and then Jury, and then also something I really wish I could buy, which is Street Fighter Masters Ken, because the art, wherever it is super, super, super cool. I really love the art style for Ken, and I want to buy it. Yeah, it's right here. Can you show that for them? I want to buy this so bad. It comes out in June. So yeah, just having these like either one shots or just like little runs of like individual Street Fighter characters in comics is really cool. So I thought this was a good story. I love Ryu kind of reminiscing over everything in his life, and Jury and Viper having just this crazy little side quest. So
well, that's what Free Comic Book Day is for. Yeah. Getting recommendations, getting into new comics. So you can add that to your wanted list.
Yeah. Great stuff. Okay, so next issue, right?
Next Free Comic Book Day.
This is going to be a fun discussion because we have quite a bit to say, but we're not going to hold it on too long. It's World of Archie. World of Archie. So we're getting into very modern Archie comics here, obviously. There's no reprinting of anything going on. This is new Archie in this free comic book day. So,
I love Archie. I actually just finished reading volume 1 of the kind of like reboot series that they did that modernized Archie. And I liked it. I have the first 4 volumes digitally, and so I bought them a while ago, back when Comixology was still afloat. And I'm going to keep reading them. And I also have Jughead. So I really like Archie stuff, and so I had to read this. But yeah, we can get right into it. The first story is about the girls starting an offshoot band because they feel disrespected by the guys. I think Betty has like a song idea, and then Reggie's just like, nah, I don't want to hear it. And so the girls get mad at the guys, and they're like, we're going to make our own band. And it's called Rock Candy. I really like this intro panel, all the girls jamming out.
Yeah, that was cool.
Really cool. Although I don't quite like this new character, and that's kind of a theme with these stories is like, I think they're doing the whole modern new characters thing a little bit too heavy-handed. But it was actually still a fun story. It was just kind of like, I don't know, Matthew and we both have experience being in bands, so it's like this felt fun because it was so close to home, but it was also sort of like, never mind.
A little obnoxious. Yeah. A little obnoxious.
Like, okay, the fact that the audience, the fact that Archie and Reggie were like, they're better than us at the end, it's like funny, but also once you start reading all the rest of these stories, you're like, oh, maybe these people just straight up don't like. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna like judge too harshly.
I think Archie and Jughead in this story could have been a little bit more nuanced. I'm not asking for anything too deep with Archie comics. It's always supposed to be kind of fun and on the nose, but it's like this whole thing of like, oh, like they're underestimating just the absolute glory of what this band is. What these girls are bringing together is just a little bit like, okay, I get it,
I do not like how they made Betty, like, they suggested that she kissed this guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't like it when writers just do things like that.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it hurt my feelings a little bit. But, I mean, it's Archie, like, I don't care that much, but it was just still annoying. But it was still a fun story. But the next story is, it's about this new character again, modern character. Mm-hmm. Turns out, like, all the guys are getting into her and having crushes on her. So the girls get jealous. It's really funny seeing the girls get jealous, but the twist is that her like friend group is a bunch of D&D guys, and she's into like short guys, short kings. It's just like a little bit cringy, but what was funny was seeing how quickly the girls' opinions changed about her once they understood that she was sort of like getting higher on the social ladder, which is very realistic.
The jealousy of these girls with this one girl just popping off was hilarious.
And then they start to be more like her. Yeah. To copy her style, which was kind of funny. It was just sort of like, I don't know. It just felt like this was too much of a self-insert. I know nothing about this author, but it's just like, bro, like, what?
Or even just the simple idea of like, oh, this girl just, her natural habitat is to like be at the nerd table and play. Like, I know girls like that, like there are girls like that exist, but this whole idea of like, everyone thinks she's just like, oh, there's this method to her, but really she actually is just a full-on nerd. It's like, again, a little bit more nuance than that, a little bit more, like to me that actually feels like you are archetyping, you're just like, nerd girl, put right nerd girl, It's like, okay, well, give me more about her, please, So, but it's funny. I think the pitch is funny. So.
Then the next story, which is about Archie racing this another original character that was created in the past like few years, named Daisy, who's like a racer, street racer with pink hair. I actually really liked the story a lot. It was fun. I liked the car action. And it was cool having like Archie accidentally spill stuff on her drawing, and that like basically created a villain arc for her. I thought that was very like a tongue-in-cheek way of like doing this kind of like super villain origin story, but like in an Archie world, an Archie way. It was cool seeing the girls commentate on Archie's race with this character. And I thought she was a little bit more likable than the other original characters.
Yeah, for sure.
And her character design was just more fun, I think. The next story... Do you have any thoughts?
No, I think you summarized.
The next story, which took me by surprise. This is like the best story. Is...
Yeah,
look at this.
Just read it.
Look at this.
Just read it.
Serena Carpenter. So...
that was very unexpected.
I don't know if you could tell, but yeah, I obviously don't listen to Sabrina Carpenter, and I do not like the whole, vibe.
I don't. At this point, I think if you are an adult male older than the age of 18, and you're listening to Sabrina Carpenter, there's something wrong with you.
Very culty and weird.
I think if you're a male at all, or a female, just listening to that crazy artist.
However, this was hands down the best story. I loved it. The concept is that, yes, Sabrina Carpenter is coming to Riverdale. There's going to be a concert, and basically what happens is that she lets different people have pop-up merch shops or something that are competing, and like whoever sells the most merch gets to meet her at the end of the concert. And so the Betty and Veronica and whoever this other character is, I don't know, Jinx maybe, they operate this shop, and so they're selling a bunch of merch, and we get these really funny like one-liner jokes that I think are really good. And the whole twist is that they actually did win. They sold the most merch. And so the girls and the guys, they go to the Sabrina Carpenter concert, but the girls fall asleep because they're so overworked throughout the day, and the guys are the ones that watch the show. So
that's such a good
and it's
twist.
Kind of this the last panel is actually kind of cool. It's like this cute moment where Sabrina Carpenter gives an espresso.
Yeah, because of the song.
So, yeah, it was a good story, honestly. Yeah. And so the last story is like this Sabrina the Witch crossover with Betty. It was okay. I don't really know anything about Sabrina the Witch. I kind of like have this like general knowledge of her from growing up, but like the whole thing is like she time traveled and accidentally made it to where Betty's parents never met each other because she wanted to time travel to like this rock concert where Betty's parents met. And so we get to see sort of like 80s clothes, I think. It
was a little too reminiscent of Back to the Future for me.
Yeah.
I was like, it feels a little unoriginal in that case. I don't know if it was trying to reference it, but I don't know. Nonetheless, not bad.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, so that's World of Archie.
Fun pickup. I always love reading Archie.
Yeah, I think it was worth the read. There were a lot of cringe moments, especially if you read the bios of these characters.
That first bio was so hard to read.
But but still, it's nice to know that Archie's still going strong. And I don't know, more than anything, I told Micah this while we were reading it. I would really just this inspired me more than anything to go back into the classic.
Yes, I really want to start reading classic
Archie and see how they wrote these characters in the time frame that he was kind of really created in the first 20 to 30 years. That would be very nice to look into the lore of that. So
yeah, the World of Archie, Free Comic Book Day 2026 special. On to the next. Right, so let's get it. DC Next Level, and I've got Megaman.
Let's go with Megaman first.
Well, I have read a Megaman Free Comic Book Day issue before, I believe. I own one of the previous ones. But this was a really fun pickup. They were advertising 2 different lines of comics. The first one being more like traditional Megaman style, and it was actually really good action. We get this character called
before you say that, it looks like on the back, whatever that is, that's the same back that Street Fighter had.
Yeah,
so,
Udon is the publisher of Megaman, and I guess they also are publishing Street Fighter.
I did not know that.
So, let's see. I'm trying to remember the characters' names. I played through the first Mega Man game on 3DS. It was just addicting. I really like Mega Man, but I'm trying to remember the character's name. Bass or Bass? That's the villain. And then he goes up against whoever this guy is, who I should know, but I'm just bad. I'm not I don't know that much Mega Man lore, but his character is really cool, and he saves this deer, which is kind of fun. And then Mega Man comes in at the last part of the fight, and the guy gets away. Just really good art, really fun action. And then what really stood out, here's the last bit, but what really stood out to me was the next story, which was in the Mega Man Battle Network, I guess, continuity. I don't really know how the lore, the universes work, but I grew up with friends that had that Game Boy game.
Yeah.
And so this art was really nostalgic for me. And I wasn't enamored by the story or anything. But man, this is cool. So I hope they make a full run of this, because I don't think they have one. They only have Mega Man and Mega Man X. So, Udon, please make Battle Network. The artist was really good for this.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I really like this. This was a good pickup. Well done.
Heck yeah. All right, moving on to my pick. It's DC Next Level. I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't care.
Sorry, DC.
I love you, DC, but I just don't care.
We are DC stans.
I love you, Scott Snyder. I don't care. The thing is...
You have to call it how we see it.
Yeah. For me, Lobo, Batwoman, and Deathstroke are all interesting characters when they're written well. I'm not gonna say I'm a huge fan of Lobo, but I love the idea behind Lobo and what he was in DC comic book history. I love Batwoman in the context of the Bat family. She's been a really good character when in Detective Comics Rebirth run. She was great. Deathstroke is obviously a great character and a great villain, great anti-hero. But I just gotta say, I don't really care about these moments where DC tries to heavily market these kind of runs of these characters that are not as popular, especially like Batwoman and stuff. Because number one, they usually just don't end up selling well, so it kind of doesn't end up in a good place in general. Not to put no faith into sales on that, but that's just kind of how it's been over time. But also number two, I just don't think now is the time to be pursuing runs of these characters when you have such good offshoots through the absolute universe, through all kinds of new things happening with DC right now.
I will also add on to that. I really appreciate the logic behind what they're doing about giving more spotlight to often underutilized characters. Yeah. But it's they're doing that with Firestorm, and I haven't read
it's
Firestorm stuff.
The previews in this,
but people are loving that book.
Yeah,
so it's I'd rather them do stuff like that rather than Batwoman and Deathstroke.
And here the Firestorm one was the best one. So
they did include part of it?
Yes, they did. But again, what I will say is they didn't really include anything. Hold on, let me talk about this. I need to talk about it first. They didn't really include anything. So much so to the point where I basically told Micah not to read it, because every single preview is a preview of a preview. It's 1 to 2 pages long for some of these. And I'm talking you see one exchange that has nothing to do with plot, and it's to be continued. And it's
that's so stupid.
I don't know how to be interested in a book that I can't even get a trailer of through this. This just feels like if you watched a trailer and paused it 15 seconds in. So that's kind of my main complaint with this, but I will say a lot of the art in this is great, especially in Fury of Firestorm and the Deathstroke book. But I don't know. I also read some of the dialogue in this Deathstroke thing, and I just don't really care. I need something about plot to get me kind of lured in, and I feel like this preview didn't give me any of that. Lobo's art style was a little bit too just all over the place for me. I get that that's his character, but it just wasn't my thing. I wasn't really interested in what was going on there. Wasn't interested in Batwoman's story. There was Zatanna in this, and Zatanna was kind of cool, but again, it lasted a total of 3 pages, and with very minimal dialogue. And there was a Barbara Gordon story that was pretty cool, but that was 2 pages long, so it really wasn't a story.
That Barbara story actually just came out this week.
So I will say there are reasons to be interested in a couple of these, but overall, there was no sufficient preview of any of them enough to get me reeled in to any of these stories. So that is DC Next Level.
Dang, the Lobo art is really cool.
I like your take on that. I feel like sometimes it's all over the place.
And I guess it's Deathstroke or something?
No, that was Batwoman. The Deathstroke is in the kind of the middle of... Yeah, it's there. So...
Oh.
DC,
I actually like the Batwoman art better.
DC, I kind of wish you did more for Free Comic Book Day. Would have been really nice. Especially, like something from the Absolute world. You guys did do some stuff from Free Comic Book Day in a way that some of you may not expect.
Let's talk about it. It's the end of the...
So, Lego Batman!
Lego Batman!
We read just to kind of get our quick thoughts out of the way, because we ended up giving the Lego Batman issue to a friend who has seen the Lego Batman movie probably at least 15 times. So it felt well deserved.
I had to part with it. I was like, oh, I really like this,
also played...
He's going to like it better.
All 3 Lego Batman games, like, over and over. So, which, by the way, I'm stoked for that new game. But, yeah, that was probably top 3, maybe top 2.
I think the Lego Batman
favorite free comics?
Probably my favorite free comic.
Of this year. There was a point of the story that actually made me laugh out loud. And, guys, I don't usually laugh out loud when it comes to reading comedic moments in comics.
We both laughed.
There was a line in that it was so smart and so clever, like nearing the most comedic and clever points of the movie, that like I just couldn't help but like applaud it, and I was just like, this is probably my favorite free comic book day.
DC, what are you doing? Like, make a Lego Batman comic line.
It would be perfect. We don't need that to just be a tie-in for the game. We need that to be more. Whoever wrote that, which I'm ashamed that I can't have him on the top of my head right now, but whoever wrote that, you deserve an opportunity to shine more of a spotlight on whatever you were doing there, because it was hilarious.
The author clearly understood the type of humor that had to be in a Lego.
And I was reading and I heard Will Arnett's voice. I mean, that was to the T his type of humor. So
I had a smile across my face the entire time I was reading that. And that's what comics are all about.
I know.
So shout out to Lego Batman, but also DC, get your crap together, give us that arc right now.
That was hilarious.
All right, on to the next comic. All right, so next comic pulls. Here we go. Sonic time.
Yep. Look at that cover.
So
gorgeous.
This year, which is another reason why I think 2026 was a major pop-off year for Free Comic Book Day / Comics Giveaway Day, is the Sonic content.
Yeah, which, by the way, it is the 35th anniversary of this character. So that's awesome.
I love Sonic.
Yeah, this man loves Sonic.
And yeah, let's just get into this story.
Yeah.
I think I like the cover the best.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually like such a good standout cover.
It's a great cover.
I think the issue is like okay. Mm-hmm. I think the action was cool.
The art's great.
Let's see who the artist was. Tracy Yardley.
Yeah.
I think I've seen her art in some other issues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to actually get into Sonic comics soon, so if you guys have any recommendations for top
please
arcs,
let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah, we really want to get into Sonic comics.
But yeah, good Tales and Sonic content. They had this really cool like team up move set thing that they did in this story, which was very reminiscent of like some of the Game Boy games I had. Like Sonic Advance 3, stuff like that.
All the action in this with Tails and Sonic was great.
Mm-hmm. And let's see.
Overall, it's not really a story that is super memorable, but it was really good to see some banter between Tails and Sonic. I think Ian Flynn, of course, because he had so much experience writing these characters, writes them super well. So yeah, a good pull. You know, you can't really go wrong picking up a Sonic book, bro. It's just like when you pick it up and you start reading Sonic talk, it just activates your childhood. It does.
It does. So that brings us. That brings us to the next book.
which is, I don't know if y'all are ready for this, because I'm still not ready even after reading it. This is DC's crossover with Sonic the Hedgehog.
So, I know I just said that the Lego Batman comic was my favorite, but actually this one was my favorite. Which, it's hard to say that this one counts because it's not like literally a free comic day book. It's, you know, this is just a reprinting of issue 1 of the crossover. But I'm so glad they did this.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, genius.
Very kind to release this, to re-release for Free Comic Book Day, because I'm sure that's going to reel a lot of people into buying the actual issues.
And this felt very serendipitous because, like we've already said, we haven't had the best access to comics. And so when the crossover was happening, I was like getting really severe FOMO because obviously I'm a huge DC fan and Sonic fan. I was like, oh, I want to read these comics. What the heck? And so here we go. Here you go, Micah. Here is a free issue 1 of the crossover. And I already watched their like YouTube video that they posted about it, but then actually reading this was exhilarating.
My goodness.
This was, again, this is what comics is all about. Just making you smile. Seeing such iconic characters get paired off and have some of the coolest dialogue I've seen in a comic book in a long time.
Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't think any of y'all watching this video has lived until you read the scene between Shadow and Batman talking about their trauma.
Like,
come on, y'all. That's iconic.
All of these moments were perfectly executed. Knuckles being with Superman, Annie being with Wonder Woman, Shadow being with Batman, Silver being with Green Lantern, Sonic being with Flash. And so Tails being with Cyborg.
Tails and Cyborg hit it off so well, too. All of them did.
But man, there's... Some of the panels in this are just so cool. You know, it's really cool that Adam Bryce Thomas got to flex his muscles for, like, real characters instead of, like, anthropomorphic characters. And I think some of his approaches work better than others for the DC characters, but...
And little nostalgic story, shout out to Adam Bryce Thomas, because when I was pretty little, maybe 10, 12, my first Free Comic Book Day, he actually visited my city locally and was at our local public library and was signing some free comic books, Sonic, obviously. And we got a copy signed from him, so that was really nice.
I've got it on hand right here.
But my goodness, this was incredible. It was an absolute treat to read. Just the experience of being able to see, again, just like the Spider-Man Superman comic we were talking about, to see these characters cross over in ways that you don't expect, and even the ways you do expect, it's always a treat. And yeah, they just handled it super phenomenally. It was there were some extremely satisfying moments to read. It's a must read for sure if you're a Sonic fan and or a DC fan.
I really do think it's a must read. Honestly, like, when do you ever get this?
Never.
And it's not just the fact that the novelty. It's like, it actually was fun to read.
Yes,
it was really cool too. And then
surreal.
I just read issue 2. I picked up the Silver and Tails variant that just got released, alongside the issue 1 of the new Sonic X DC crossover event that's happening. And issue 2 is good. So I'm like, dang, I gotta track down these back issues because this is some genuine peak.
And by the way, I don't think it gets any cooler than Darkseid trying to steal a Chaos Emerald.
It's like when you hear that sentence, you're like, oh snap.
That's where they're going with this crossover. They're doing some big cosmic stuff, and I love it.
So, great Free Comic Book Day. So
I have a few more to discuss right here.
Oh yeah.
Micah, that was all his picks, but can you just pull out the rest of my picks for me?
So you got these, and Flash Gordon,
and then that's it. So,
bonus content.
Yeah, so quick bonus content. 3 more picks on my end, which I'll have Micah read after.
Here's my Sonic mug that I'm actually.
So this was actually a welcome surprise. This book was just 3 individual stories of Planet of the Apes, Alien, and Predator. And I was actually pretty fascinated by this because, just comic book form of any of those 3 IPs is pretty sick. I was very surprised that the
the book that I cared about the most, and this was actually the Alien one, because I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan, and I actually thought the Planet of the Apes story was the weakest, because it just didn't really have a lot of pages dedicated to it, kind of a similar, like, next level vibe that I was just talking about, which was, it was just not enough plot to get me interested. But man, the alien story was pretty interesting. Long story short, it's just this scientist who kind of creates in a lab these 4 kind of clone human beings or something. Not clones, but they're like, I don't really know how exactly, it didn't explain how it worked, but it's just, he created 4 human beings in a lab, and he just names them off of colors, and their color respective to their names are attached to their head, and they wear it as a top garment as well. So it's red, white, green, and blue, and he basically grows these lab like mercenaries, like basically military weaponry, and lies to them that that they are on their final training mission, when in reality he was actually trying to go get them outside of their training facility and go into the real world and kill a ton of xenomorphs that were like threatening the well-being of the planet.
So a little bit of Ender's Game stuff.
Kind of like that, and they actually turned on him and let a xenomorph eat him because of that. So that was a really, really interesting twist and a really interesting moment, because now, after that happened, they were like, well, what else are we going to do with the rest of our lives except basically try to continue to help people survive and kill these xenomorphs, because this is crazy. And there's I think something about like the xenomorphs kind of have a different way of interacting with them because they think they're like family or something, which is really interesting. But yeah, moving on from that, there was a pretty interesting story with the Predator side of things, where it's basically these 2 lovers that fall in love, obviously, and Predator, it's like, it goes through their dialogue of the future they think they'll have together, and just like every moment of love that kind of happened at first sight. And while that's happening, these 2 characters are actually like, they're, I think, wrestlers. They're like super strong people, and they're also like warriors and stuff. While it's going through the dialogue in both their heads, there's a scene where Predator creeps up on them and starts fighting them. And after the end of their little love story of dialogue, Predator captures them and puts them in prison. So I kind of loved that. I thought it was really unique. It was just, I just love how funny, like how straight to the point that is. So I thought the Alien Predator story was pretty good. The Planet of the Apes story, I don't even want to talk about because it's just really boring to me. And
dang, that sucks.
It's not that it was bad. It was just like it was just like next level where I don't have enough plot to like really get me interested in anything.
We really like the Planet of the Apes by Matt Reeves, right?
Yeah, incredible movies. Incredible movies.
I wonder if they have a comic of those movies.
That's a good question. But with that aside, this is one of the funniest pickups. This is the funniest pickup I've ever gotten on Free Comic Book Day. Show this to the camera, Micah. It's called
The British.
The British Are Coming. So it is actually a graphic novel adaptation of that historical moment, and it was honestly,
was it good?
The thing that confuses me is the actual dialogue and the like narration of the history was kind of hard to read. And I'm not saying in like the fact that it was like old English and stuff.
Guys, why is it so easy to get comic book knowledge stored up here, but when it comes to history, it's so difficult to keep that storage space?
This is true. But the crazy thing is that it wasn't like old English being hard to read. It was like something about the way the writer wrote this felt like kind of bad. I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you read it. But other than that, I thought it was cool how it went through very specific moments in history, and the art was really cool. It kind of again reminds me of Lee Weeks' art. It's crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I think the pitch is cool. I'm really glad that this exists in graphic novel form, and I'm kind of interested in it. But overall, I think it could have just been written a little bit more seamlessly and less like just blocky and kind of rigid with the speech. And again, it sounds like that's just because it's Old English, but really, I think it was just because the dialogue was written a little odd.
Dang, I want to read this.
But the art was awesome, and also to really just kind of have our independence from Britain be contextualized within a visual comic book form. I don't know, it makes you feel a little bit patriotic. It makes you feel grateful for the history that is in your country, you know.
I think this is a really cool way to
Yeah.
present history to people growing up.
Yeah.
I always have this, I don't know, I feel weird about historical fiction in general because it's just, I don't know, it's easy to
propagandize
and put personal biases into history. That's just a problem with history too in general.
Yeah.
But especially when it comes to making it into like an artistic medium.
Yeah.
But honestly, this looks really cool.
Yeah.
And it's just a struggle for a lot of people to be forced to learn history a certain way.
Exactly.
And this could be such a cool way to teach history.
It was a very digestible way to understand the importance of Independence Day, and I feel like kids reading this, if the dialogue was handled a little bit better, would drastically benefit from that. So
cool.
I liked that. I also really like the cover. I like that little red wraparound and that kind of overhead view is really, really sick. So shout out to the British are coming. I was like, you know what? This is so unique. I'm just going to pick it up. So this is my last comic book I'm discussing, my last pickup of Comic Book Day that I've read, which is Flash Gordon. So this is for some reason in black and white. I don't know why yet, but aside from the fact that it's all in black and white, it's still drawn absolutely beautifully. It's actually some of the best art I think I've seen in the whole Free Comic Book Day run. This was a surprising read. I really liked this. I am completely unfamiliar with the lore of Flash Gordon, so I kind of went into it blind, and I think that was part of the purpose of how they wrote this, because it seems like as they advertise, there's 3 volumes of Flash Gordon, and this is like part of the first volume. It seems like this is pretty much, those 3 volumes are going through essential Flash Gordon lore, because this seems like a quick rundown of who Flash Gordon is, what his biggest accomplishments were, and also what his goals are in relation to his love interest. And the kind of world building and the alien designs and the kind of prisoner status of Flash Gordon being an emphasis in the beginning of the story, and how he breaks out with this fellow prisoner next to him, and how much this fellow prisoner knows about the state of the geopolitics in whatever spatial geopolitics is occurring, was very fascinating. And it was extremely fascinating how it actually had to do with a twist later on that I won't spoil, because I thought the twist was that good. So
I want to read this now.
Yeah, I really, really liked the kind of just the interior monologues of Flash Gordon and the designs of him. I just think he just seems to have a lot of aura. And I really want to get read up on what exactly like his lore is as a character, because the prisoner that was next to him, once he found out who he was like, oh my goodness, it's Flash Gordon. He did this and this and this. So yeah, I just really love some of the world building. The art is amazing. The story was actually, the action was very fast paced. I really like it when comic books are kind of trying to get you to turn pages faster, which I know intuitively doesn't allow you to sink in with the art enough, but I feel like fast comic book pacing is underrated, because there were moments after the prison breakout was happening where you were just flying across the pages like, what is going to happen?
Wow, this art really is great.
Yeah, the art is great. So after the essential moments of the story happens, that twist is on the very last page, and it really actually made me want to kind of buy the first volume. So
nice. So it looks like you got exposed to Flash Gordon, and you also got exposed to what was the first thing that you wanted to pick up? Now,
Street Fighter.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like Flash Gordon and Street Fighter sold me the most in this whole marketing scheme of Free Comic Book Day.
Wow.
So yeah, shout out to, let me list off the people who wrote this. So Jeremy Adams, and then Will Conrad, Lee Lowridge, I think, Taylor Esposito. Y'all are really doing a phenomenal job on this. Y'all got me wanting to know the lore of Flash Gordon through just this issue alone. So yeah, shout out to that. I think that's one of my favorite Free Comic Book picks. So yeah, that's it.
That's it. How was your Free Comic Book Day?
Mm-hmm. let us know.
Comment your favorite one that you pulled. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all probably read all the same ones, generally.
Largely, yeah.
I might ask our sister to join in on this video and record her comments.
She got some specific ones, including Garfield.
Yep. And I haven't read that one yet, and I want to, so I might do that soon.
Yes.
We'll see. But yeah.
Testing. Okay. I have read this many comics. Some of them weren't a part of Free Comic Book Day, but they were a part of Supergirl and Superman Day. Don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm saving that for last because I do want to just get into the thick of this. Amazing. This was the first one that I popped open when me and my brother were waiting in line for the next comic book store to go to. So this was actually just the first ever one that I opened, and then lo and behold, the Minecraft comic that's featured in it. Hey? And it's so ugly. Sorry, but it's so ugly. And it's like not ugly, but it's like it's taking a very specific 12-year-old to read this and not this. Okay, this was great. This was great. I wasn't really expecting at all. I was about to say Uncle Iroh. Dang it. I look like a fake fan right now. I wasn't expecting at all to be learning about Roku? Yeah, Roku. Like the TV. Roku TV. Where my Roku TV fans at? Anyways, no, I was not expecting to learn about him at all. This is great. I love this. Was not expecting this to be so good. This, I mean, not this. But this. Not this. Next. So good. This is right up my alley. I'm a big fan of this. It's just so good. I love specifically how they used the same panel multiple times. Like, this is a great style. This is a great art style. This is a great everything. And my favorite part about this was an unexpected lesson on, like, terms for comics. Like this, he's at the bottom, he says that this is a splash page. I didn't know what a splash page was. I don't think the average person knows what a splash page is. And if you tell me otherwise, I don't think you're right. I think the average person doesn't know what a splash page is. So this was very informative and very nice, and a taco and a pizza were telling me about a splash page, and I love that. And I love that. So, I mean, yeah, it says hungry for more. I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry for more taco and pizza. And as soon as I saw that when I was in line, I knew it would be good, and I was right. Great. Funny. Great. Amusing. Every Lego anything is funny, great, and amusing. So it's not that I'm like surprised that this was great. It was just like, like I can always depend on Lego Batman, Lego Ninjago, Lego anything. I can always depend on Lego to give me a good little laugh. And I love that. So this is great. Hey. And you know I had to get it. And as soon as I saw it, I grabbed it. There's no second. Like, they told me I needed 6 comic books, that I could only get 6 comic books when I was in line. We knew that this was going to be in my 6 comic books. Like the main 6. If you know, you know. The main 6 were going to be in my main 6. This, on the other hand, what is this? I'm sorry. I think there's a time and a place for this in my life, but it wasn't any time recently, and I don't think it's going to be any time in the future. I'm not going to read this part. Also, I don't like... Yeah, enough said. This, on the other hand, it was great. Of course it was great. It's always nice seeing, like, one of your childhood favorite shows in a cool, different, illustrative form. Like, yeah, and it's cool. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at her flying. What a cool picture. Like, I just love that. I love that. Hey now. I love that. This is great. This is also great. I didn't finish it though. I was literally actively getting bored, and so I stopped reading it. Because there's like a whole thing that happens where they're like reviewing. So listen, the first part of this, there's 2 stories in this, I think. 2 stories and then a Baby Garfield story. Their first story was good, not too long, but then when I got to the second story, I had to put it down. I didn't really have the mental patience to read the next one, which was called Big Mouse Meal. I think, in theory, that's great. Yeah, do I want to see a little mouse and Garfield interacting? Yes. But did I actually stick around for it? No. Not after the first story. But I'll probably come back to it. It was good. I also just love this. I love this. Hold on. I have to get something. I love this. Let a girl love Garfield. Don't hate on a girl who loves Garfield. This is great. Except Garfield kind of makes me mad. Like, he's unreasonably a bully, and I don't like bullies. He's a bully. But, oh, it's so good. I loved it. Okay, so I actually didn't really try that hard to read this, but it also didn't really get my attention in, like, the first few panels, and I wasn't even feeling that vibe anyway, so I moved on to Garfield, actually. But something about, like, the writing was not, like, it was hard for my brain to comprehend, and I feel like that is a very fundamental mistake, and I am gonna take the blame for that, and I'm just gonna say that I wasn't in the mood, or maybe I wasn't able to comprehend the English in this at that moment. But I don't know if I will in the future, so I'm sorry. I just had to mention it. It wasn't that bad. I'll probably come back to it, but it was kind of surprising that I couldn't get into it because recently I have been loving this vibe. I've been loving a classic superhero vibe, a classic like catch me up on the story, catch me up on where we are with Superman. Where is he right now? What has he been doing? Catch me up. This was great. So this was a part of Free Superman Day. It says Superman Day in the corner. This was a part of Superman Day, free comic book for Superman Day, and it was really good. It was about LexCorp, and it was about, like, Superman already married to Lois. Like, I just liked it. The art was really good, honestly. I just needed a Superman vibe. Ugh. Oof. Best. This, she, like, takes his cap, and she, like, wears it. I'm reading, and I was reading, and I love that. So now we're on that Supergirl and Superman Day wavelength. I read this. I actually haven't read Woman of Tomorrow. I don't know why. I'm kind of putting it off. But this was one of the first ones I read, but I also just realized that I didn't read the next one. So this is the second story. This is the first story. Okay, I read this one. And what's crazy is that I was here for the vibe of her flying and looking awesome, But then it very quickly got confusing, and then it left off on a confusing note, and apparently I'm not the only one who thinks that. So, but hey, the art is gorgeous. Both me and my brother saw that, and we were a little amazed. So, pretty sure he got it too, but I definitely was putting this in my pile, and I really enjoyed it. But I do have to read the next story, and the illustrations look great. Oh my gosh, the art style is so fun. That's so fun. So I have to read that later. Hey, wait. Okay, so this is the last one that I read that I'm about to show you. This is my favorite one. It is a part of Supergirl Day. And it's this. It's just Supergirl. I wonder if other people like this. I actually haven't looked it up. I haven't looked at if other people like this or not. But this is fantastic. I really like this, actually. I love the art style. It is very classic to me. It's like what I want out of a comic book experience when I'm reading and looking at the panels. It's not anything new or that different, but it's still beautiful. I really enjoyed it. Like, this is great. That is fantastic. Like, just, it's gorgeous. And then her personality is immediately readable through the pages. It's immediately obvious who this is, how she acts. I don't know. Like, there's literally, like, I opened to a part where, like, she's talking to her cat. She says, "Streaky, don't even think about swiping Candor off the table." Like, they didn't have to write that in. It's just silly, and it's sweet, and it's to the point, and it shows us more about her personality in one sentence than this ever did. So, I really enjoyed this. It also leaves me off on a very enjoyable cliffhanger. I really am genuinely trying to get the next issue of this because it looks great. I haven't really looked into any information about this, which is my bad. But I want more of it, and that's all I know, is I want more of this. This is great to me. So these are all the comics that I still have left to read. I still need to read this. I'm really excited for this. I picked this up as well. I don't know what to expect, but I know that the art style looks really good, and I'm very excited for this. I still have to read this, but I'm putting it off. I do not... this... I used to have an action figure of Supergirl when I was really little. She's always been my favorite superhero. She just is awesome. I used to be blonde and still have blue eyes. Used to be blonde. Obviously, for a little girl, as a blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, this was like, oh my gosh, I'm latching onto this. She is so cool. She has cute little outfits. I just is awesome. So this is not that exciting to me, but needless to say, I'm still going to read this, and I'm still going to watch this, and we'll see. It's okay if it's not my favorite thing ever. It's still made well, yeah. I need to read this really badly. I actually do not have the Superman DC Sonic crossover is what I meant to say. I don't have the DC Sonic crossover, but I do have this, and I am still excited to read it. Because, specifically for this. Tails is amazing. Tails is amazing. Tails is amazing. I want more Tails. I need more Tails. I'm really excited to read this. I have not read this yet. It looks great. I love that art style. Are you kidding me? This looks fantastic. It's like something that I'd pick up in my second grade library in the back of the classroom. I'm really excited for that. I had to pick this up. I'm not necessarily too excited about it because I don't have any context for this in my brain. I don't have any expectations. I think it's just going to be something that I read before I go to bed because it's just a very nice little read. It's so cute. That's adorable. That is literally adorable. I'm sorry. Are you kidding me? So I'll read that eventually. And then last but not least, I don't think enough people are mentioning this. This is awesome. I actually haven't used it yet, but I have flipped through the pages. I personally haven't seen anything like this at a free comic book day. I haven't been to one every single year, but I have been to a few throughout my lifetime, and I have not seen anything like this. And it just is awesome. It's awesome. It's an interactive comic book. It's an interactive comic book. Are you kidding me? I'm a big Dogman fan, so that's awesome. It's just great. Like, I love this. And I will be taking it and putting it in my purse and probably using it on my lunch break at some point. And I'm not even kidding. Like, I will be doing that, and it just looks awesome. So, awesome. 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 Awesome.
If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe. We like talking about comics, and we love to hear what your takes are too. This is a really fun community, and yeah, let us know what your favorite pickup for Free Comic Day is, and if y'all got any good deals at your local comic book store.
This is true.
And again, if you have read Sonic comics, give me a recommendation.
Please do. Yeah.
So yeah,
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See you in the next video.
See ya.